It's the Dad the Rock After Show. Now, here's Chris and Sean.
Hello, welcome back once again to the Halo After Show. This is Sean,
And it's Chris.
and tonight we're talking about episode 6 of season 2, entitled Onyx, which is the title of the planet, the name of the planet.
The name of the planet. They like naming their episodes after the location they're on, I've noticed.
Yeah, I sense a theme. Yeah,
I don't know. Is it good? Is it lazy? Is it just convenient? I don't know what it is.
it's probably a little lazy. It's okay. It gets us familiar with where we are.
Well,
Lets
who
us
are
know
we?
the name of the episode and the planet.
So who are we tonight? I mean, we're not on our normal time. Typically, we're at 8:30. It's 10
I
o'clock. You know,
know.
dad things happen like we've warned you in the
What
past.
did you have to do? Not me, sir. All
I
you.
had a birthday party I had to take my son to. It was a glow jump at Sky Zone, and there was no violence this time, unlike a year ago, which was beautiful. That was a whole story by itself. But you know what? Let's not dwell on violence because there was plenty of it in this episode.
Boy, there was. Yeah. What do you think overall thoughts of this episode?
I enjoyed this one. Now
You
I
liked it
watched.
better than last week?
I think I really think I did because it gave us more dynamic into Kai. Like last week, I was like, I didn't buy it. They were giving us so much saying, making us believe she was so much smarter than she was kind of played off as. And this episode here, I kind of bought into that intelligence level that they led me to believe that she had.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where that goes from there. I am still at the I don't care about Kessler part. I'm still there. I
Yeah.
understand the importance again of them building up the Spartan program, the Spartan 3s, which we got to talk about them because that's stupid.
Yeah.
But the whole John thing too. I loved him walking in, and I was watching this episode, and I was thinking of you. This was John McClane episode. He went in there, got his ass kicked, got bloodied. He knew what he was doing, and he still wound up on the right side of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He had a heck of an episode this episode. And you know what? So did Cortana, playing a little double agent, a little copy and paste with herself.
In 3 different places at the same time. That was pretty cool to see.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, I like this episode too. I'm glad that we got back to some real plot pushing forward. This felt like it almost felt like finale territory where it's like I feel like this is where we're gonna spend the next 2 episodes probably until the end. Maybe not. Maybe we actually get to Halo. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I do like how we push forward with the season. This episode did a lot to gain momentum towards the end here.
I think we're going to see the Halo again. I don't know if we're not going to figure out what the Halo is again. So
The Halo?
Yeah, I think we're absolutely going to see both Makee and John back on the Halo, what we've seen in season 1.
Yes.
They're still not going to explain to us newbies what exactly the Halo is. So I don't know if I'm happy about that or if they need to drag that out for show purposes.
The crew of the ship, everybody kind of has their own mission on Onyx. Master Chief, of course, he just wants Perengoski. Like that's all he keeps saying. He's just grunting, marching through the woods, beating up soldiers,
Dude,
shooting them, but not fatally shooting them.
Oh, he was whooping their ass. Like he seen them coming, and he just walked down there, freaking Michael Myers style. He just walked down there, big, menacing, and just started whooping up on some dudes. And I love the fact that it wasn't even so much he knew he had to whoop some of them up, but he also knew what the outcome was going to be, and he wanted that outcome. He wanted to be captured. He wanted to be brought in because that was his only way inside that building without truly being caught or hurt.
Yeah, I felt that way too. Like once he was surrounded, like I just felt like it was all part of the plan. Like that's how he was going to get in.
Because he smiled. He had a grin. When he put the weapon down, he grinned like he knew what was coming. He knew what was going to happen. He knows their tactics, and there's nothing that they could do to him that he wasn't already, known was coming.
A little bit of personality. That was fun. You mentioned Kessler. So Kessler's mom and pop, is it Liara?
Yeah, I think it's Liara. Yeah.
and also who he's a big player. I should know his name by now.
Soren?
Soren.
Yeah,
Yes,
there we go.
Soren.
Good lord.
I don't know why I don't know why I remember Kessler. Probably because didn't we have a Principal Kessler? I think Silver Run's principal was Principal Kessler, and for some reason that name
You
just
know what? You may be right on that. That's a weird nugget to pull from.
it was way in the back
Yeah,
here.
we're talking what, 20 years ago? No, more than that.
Yeah,
Jesus. Okay,
that was a
but
long time. That's why I remember that name. But anyway, yeah. So Soren, luckily they weren't in this episode much. I mean,
no.
we just kinda tapped in with them just a couple of times, and it was just enough to know that they pretty much found where Kessler is, we think, but it's dangerous, and that's all we need to know for right now.
Yeah, all we was it we heard Thermopylae again. That's
Thermopylae, yeah.
that's the second
Yeah.
time they've referenced that, which I've it's got to be they're not mentioning that twice on accident. We're going to see that come into play.
I wonder if it was some kind of fighting pit or something where they put the children against each other. That's the
I think
vibes
it's
I
more of a
got.
style, or it's going to be a maybe less a style, but more of a strategy in battle.
Okay. I
That's
see.
kind of what I'm making from it.
I gotcha. So yeah, and there was also the stuff with Quan and Halsey.
That was good.
That was interesting.
Because finally we got Halsey giving us the real. I don't care about your mom. I don't care about your family. We're gonna go back and forth, and I'm gonna do this whole spiel. I've done it many of times. Let's just move on.
Right,
'Cause
right,
I
right.
don't care.
You
I'm like,
probably would get sick of that eventually, especially if you were the personality type of a Halsey. Why do I have to keep like defending myself or explaining myself? Like, there's bigger things going on here. Like, let's just move on, please. We don't have time to talk about how bad of a person I am.
yeah. Well, I think there's
Uh,
much bigger things happening on that planet than she has
yeah,
any concept of. And it has all to do with Quan and seeing that lady and leading her to the well, and jumping down that well. When then we seen that well or one of those wells, I think all the way back on Sanctuary. Or no, not Sanctuary, on the very first episode of season one.
Madrigal or
Madrigal. Thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
Madrigal. So what's the connection? What Yeah, there's something that I don't know. They haven't told us yet, but they gave us something like we was staring at that door when they were in those tunnels, or
yes.
that big like it looks like a door, a portal, or something. We're in sci-fi world.
Yeah, it's some kind of portal, right? I mean, John and Makee get transferred to Halo somehow. You know what I mean? There's some sort of physical travel that you're able to do in space that doesn't have anything to do with spaceships. And I think maybe that's something that has to do with these well type things. It also has to do with I don't know with somehow the spirits are involved because that's what I liked about the Halsey and Quan connection is that it's like Quan had the supernatural thing going on and Halsey had the scientific thing going on, and it was kind of like not really button heads, but they were working together without even knowing that they were working together
Yeah,
to
there
try to
was
get to that door.
exactly. Well, I like the little back and forth. She's like, "Well, you ruined my best project," or I was like, "Wow, that's kind of messed up." She was like, "Well, you killed my family."
And exactly what I was talking about last week, like, why wouldn't Halsey be actually interested as a scientist to figure out, like, what's going on with them? And she mentions that exact thing, because Quan apologizes or, somewhat half-heartedly like,
Yeah, yeah,
really,
yeah.
who cares? But she was like, "Don't apologize because it was, interesting to" she basically says that, like, as being a variable, in a science project is always kinda fun to watch.
Just yeah, see how it changes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, you said you kind of she hit that on the nail on the head there, from
Yeah.
what we were talking about. But yeah, we finally got Miranda. A very, very little of
Yeah.
Miranda, but we finally see Miranda, and I love the jab. She's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, and I fixed your mistake." I'm like, "Ooh,
I'm worried about that though. I'm wondering if it's because so far if we know anything about the Halsey character is that she doesn't often make like mistakes. She's morally corrupt.
yeah."
But as far as like her science, she hasn't made many mistakes thus far. So I'm
Or which
wondering if
or what more
Miranda
yeah, as
is like
conceiving as a mistake is not a mistake.
exactly like she found something that really Halsey was like trying to either keep under wraps or keep from going down that road because it's too dangerous, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that crossed my mind, uh, but not more like I was like, I like the jab. The
Yeah.
coldness. the coldness was there. I love the cold shoulder. They were both. They didn't care that they seen each other. I don't
Miranda
know.
has to know that her dad passed away, right? I mean, we didn't get any of that, but I assume that
I
he's being martyred for staying
Does
on.
she know that Reach was glassed? I
Well, I
I
think that's public knowledge now, right? Because that's why
Yeah,
everybody's
that's
all
right.
like, they're pretty much just using glass or using it as a
Yeah,
martyr, like
finish the fight,
yeah,
in his honor type thing.
yeah. So that'll be interesting to see her, further dialogue between Halsey and Miranda when it comes to Admiral Keyes too.
But dude, Perengoski is terrified
Yeah.
of Master Chief, of John.
She's also terrifying. Like she was
Uh,
more outright evil in this episode than we've ever
yeah.
seen her
I
before.
love the story about the tea. You forget a
Mm,
little detail and a whole empire will fall.
yeah.
And like Ackerson's looking across at her and he's like, you can see that like his look in his eyes is like, who am I truly messing with here? She is above my level of
Yeah, and that whole scene too was all about, believe the bullshit. Even if it's bullshit, it's the story that is important. You know what I mean? Like, even though this tea was just made on level 4 in some, jar in some, scientific like under a microscope, and it's not really from Sri Lanka or whatever. But if we tell each other that and we drink the tea, we believe the story, then it's sacred, it's important. And
yeah,
I think it's a metaphor for, like, what happened with, John. Well, they think John's dead, but all the stuff that happened on Reach, except Perengoski knows that John has landed. Like, she got some intel that John and Halsey are on that
yeah.
planet.
Halsey is here 19 hours ago. A man, the biggest man I've ever seen with a scar
Yeah.
on his face. I like how she was like, he kept on saying impossible, impossible. I said, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
like,
he's
you
coming.
keep saying that."
Yeah, he's coming. We are his target.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck because we're gonna have, it's gonna take a lot to stop this man.
It was cool, and yeah, we kinda mentioned Cortana a little bit. When we finally got Cortana talking to John, and it wasn't like at first I was like, "Is this like a hallucination or some sort of illusion? Is he really hearing Cortana?" No, it's like legit her. Cortana and Master Chief, like, just complete each other as far as, like,
It feels
super
right.
badass. It feels right because it's like Cortana needs somebody that has a North Star that's not gonna, like, be corrupt and, like, use her in a way that's not good, right?
Yeah,
And also, he needs Cortana to open up some damn doors.
yeah.
And to just be like, "Hey, here's some intel that you don't know because you're kind of a grunt and a little bit of a emotional meathead, but I'm already, like, 6 steps ahead of you
Well,
on
she's
this
like,
thing,
go
so."
touch the keystone. It's like, how am I gonna get there? And she's like, I know where it is. And it just starts following her. She
Yeah, she
starts
even
locking
says,
things
like,
down.
she's like, "That's why you have me." And she even smiles, and yeah, when he's walking through that hallway and everything, all the doors are locking and all the, the keep from the alarms going off and all
And the
those
high
little
pitch
things.
hum that hit, because I'm guessing
Yeah,
that was the Black Ops team that was supposed to finish the job, which we'll
right.
talk about here in a little bit. But
Yeah.
they got taken out because of that high pitch thing. And he just walks in and he looks at the keypad. And he said,
The final lock, and he's like, "Are you gonna do so?" Yeah, like,
"Of course,
you gonna unlock
you're
that or
gonna hit
what?
it." I can't. You got it. And that's a ren. And he walks right into where the keystone is. And there's been 2 episodes that's got a verbal damn out of me. Like it was over. Like, damn.
Oh, this one was bad with that. Yeah, when they went to black, it was just like, "Oh, come on." Like,
I
of course,
was
that's where you leave it, but
I
still.
was pissed at this one. This episode did it, and it was the beginning of the fall of Reach when they were into church.
Yeah,
Those 2 episodes, at the end of those episodes, are one that got the most reaction out of me
yeah.
because I don't want to wait for what's next, and what's next should be freaking awesome.
So what about Kai? Where do you think she's at by the end of this episode? Her and Master Chief have a pretty awesome scene, like a fight scene. It's not really a fight scene because Master Chief's kind of getting his ass handed to him. Um,
I think going into this scene here that we're watching now is pretty much the back end of it.
yeah,
Uh, she is on his side, 100% on his side. She even mentioned she trusts him. I will always trust him. She now knows that her first instinct when she met Ackerson back in that boardroom was the right instinct. She was the
Right.
first one to question it.
Yeah.
So now that she's hearing from him that they left him to die and they took his armor, they
Yeah.
basically killed all of them, and everything that she's being told is a lie. I loved it. And then I got it the first watch. The second time I watched it, this fight here played better for me. Because
Yeah.
this wasn't a fight. This was a show. This was a show for the
Yep.
camera.
Right.
So she's following orders and doesn't kill him, beats him within an inch of his life, and he takes he takes it all. And it was just fantastic. I loved it.
Well, that's one thing I'm wondering about as far as Master Chief, because so far it seems like, I mean, all the Spartans are going to be tough SOBs to begin with. I'm sure it's very difficult to kill a Spartan under normal circumstances. But John 117 in particular, he's been on the brink of death a couple times now in this season, and he comes back. And I'm wondering if it has to do something special with him and his physiology, and that's why he's kind of special among the Spartans, or if it has something to do with the Cortana implant, where Cortana's just like not going to let him die, like you're too important, or that little piece of Cortana that was still kind of haunting him was still in there a little bit, enough to like, even his batteries at 1%, like it's enough to recharge him enough to stand back up.
It could be one of two things.
What's
It
that?
could be the augmentation that all Spartans go through,
Yeah.
and the augmentation they gave him knowing he was going to be the Master Chief basically gave him almost super soldier serum, if you
Yeah.
kind of put it in that mindset. Or theory two is Cortana's not technically even gone. Because what if she was able to store a piece of her somewhere else that Goski couldn't get to?
And we see a little bit of evidence of that, right? Because Cortana is having multiple conversations, and her presence is in multiple places. That's one thing too. I'm wondering, it's like, well, there was a high volume transmission. They said with their communications.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cortana was doing some sort of like a live feed broadcast, or she just literally downloaded her entire self from the Covenant ship all the way over to the
Ooh, that'd be
um
interesting.
I don't know how that works, if she's still in that little digital receptacle that Makee has, because they were kicking that around, but is Cortana even still in there, or did she like just literally download herself? Or is she, because she's like a program, could she literally just like copy and paste and be multiple
Yeah.
places?
And she
Like,
wants
how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. And it's like when I was watching that scene, I was making it as like she was coming through the loudspeakers. Like she was talking to him that way. There
Yeah.
was no direct connection. And you can see there was a level of relief when he heard her voice.
Master Chief acted different. What he had his stride back.
He
It's
was
like
like,
I'll sell.
Game on. I got my girl back.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
stop me."
Yeah. Now it's on. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I got
Um,
that. I love that. That was really cool. And I like how she I think she's playing Goski like a piano.
I think so too. I think that's why she asks the questions that she asks. She's like, "So my mission's done. Is there anything else I can do?"
Mhm.
Just like probing, like, how am I disposable like any other asset? Am I like, you know what I mean? Because Halsey always treated her as like, you know, pretty much the soul of the universe. Like,
Yeah.
just, Halsey was like, we're not going to make it without Cortana. And then, even like John too, Master Chief has like, even though he kind of first season he wasn't very nice to her, but like they have that connection. And she's really kind of feeling Cortana has a good radar about her, and I don't know if it's just being able to read micro movements in the face, or how like behavioral detectives or whatever can sense things.
Yeah.
Cortana be able to read fluctuations in your blood pressure and all that stuff. So I'm sure she could tell if
Well,
you're
she knows
lying.
when McKee's lying. I mean, she
Hmm.
mentioned that already before. So I love there's a line that she says that it's very low and it can be missed. She said nothing can be undone.
Mm,
So I think it was said when she was actually back on the Covenant ship,
yeah.
but I think it has to do with I think the information that she provided Goski about the movement of the Covenant fleet is BS.
Yeah.
I don't think
Could be.
that's legit at all. And I think she's working on an exit strategy. I think that's what's happening with her. with what's happening with her and Makee and trying to get back to John. I think that's her end game, getting back to John.
Do you think Cortana is trying to keep Halo out of the hands of the Covenant and out of the hands of Parangoski? Like, she just finds both factions to be too dangerous to wield
I think the
Halo?
only one she trusts with it is John.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one she trusts with it. And I'm not sure even how, because I think there's a part of her that wants to trust Makee as well, which may
Yeah.
be misplaced. Because
Right, I wonder about that. It's kind of a weird dynamic. We get a little bit more of it this time, but it almost feels like Cortana feels sorry for Makee, like, "Oh, man, this girl's in way over her head, and if I ditch her right now, like, she's just gonna get sliced up on this
yeah,
ship."
because she knows she's lying about it. The
Yeah,
Arbiter doesn't know that she's lying about it, and the Arbiter just basically went to town for her. I
yeah,
mean, he can't go home now after what happened on that ship. And
right.
basically, he said, if you're either with me or you're against me. And he turned around and started slicing and dicing fools. That priest went down. I
Yeah,
mean, it's pretty much the end of that port there. But there was a line about the actual arbiter. He said he has enough shame as is. So that kind of led into this was the arbiter is carried by someone that has lost their honor,
right.
which verifies what one of our viewers told us.
Yeah, you guys have been great in the comments, here live and after the fact when you, watch the replay of our show, kinda dropping comments and filling us in on some of the story points, that have been not only in the games, but the novels. We definitely appreciate that. Basically, we love that. We like to keep spoiler free, but if you're able to give us more insight into the story so far, it really helps us out, honestly. It fleshes out the current storyline that we're watching. For me, it helps me enjoy the show a little bit better because I have a better
A
sense of
little bit of
the
knowledge,
world.
yeah.
Yeah,
W-
without being spoilery.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Perez a little bit. And there's the Spartan
Oh,
3.
yeah, yes.
Uh, they're cannon fodder. There's
Yeah.
nothing special about the Spartan 3. The name Spartan now in this world isn't special in any way.
It's just a soldier with a better suit. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
it's
and
essentially just a Marine that they were just fighting on Reach.
yeah,
Now they just have they're essentially stormtroopers.
exactly, yeah, and it's Perez, right?
Yeah,
I feel like Perez knows that. I feel like she knows exactly what's going on here, and that's why she calls bullshit out to Kai. I feel like she has a better sense of what's going on around her than Kai does.
I think she does too. And there was a
Yeah.
bullshit line that Kai said, "Just because you survived one battle doesn't make you a veteran." Bull. I call bull crap on that all day long. Definitely when a planet was being glassed,
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty big battle.
and you can see the shame in Kai that she
Mhm.
wasn't there. She should have been there with everybody when this took
Kai
place.
was projecting. She was projecting with that comment. She was like, yeah, she definitely there was a lot of guilt there, and you got that. That's why I thought both actresses killed it with that because you were able to infer all these kinds of things without the dialogue explicitly telling you like that's how they feel. Like I got that right away from Kai. Like she's only saying that because she does feel real shitty that she wasn't there
Yeah.
for her crew.
Well, you hear that later with the conversation between Kai and Ackerson
Yeah.
too. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
she starts drilling into him, and he is a master manipulator.
Oh yeah.
He'll start dropping like confidential stuff on her. So I shouldn't tell you this, but this, and this. There was nothing, we couldn't have stopped this.
Right.
And like,
And that's textbook. You're right, that is manipulation. You give them just a little bit to keep them on the hook, and then you just, like, keep them, engaged, basically. Although by the end of this episode, I think you're right. I think Kai's just seen too much, and her admiration and, connection to Master Chief is just too much, her trust in him, and you could tell I mean, he lied, you could tell by his
Mhm.
reaction when she straight up asks him the right questions and he just hesitates and he doesn't know what to say for a
Doesn't,
moment,
yep.
like, as soon as that moment hits, it's like, "Oh, okay, so Master Chief is right, like, F you, I'm outta here."
Yeah. Yeah. That whole thing, it was like the back and forth. And then the continuation of try it takes a lot of balls from a guy that size to try to, manipulate a woman that
Yes.
size or a
Uh,
soldier that
right.
size. I mean, you think about it, she's looking down at him. I mean, she probably just and it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was able to we saw all the damage Master Chief did without his armor, and then the fight between, Master Chief and her was so one-sided, like, I was like, "Yeah, let's get that armor back on Master Chief. Now he's got Cortana, let's get him the armor, we'll be ready to go."
Yeah, I think a lot of that. I think he could have probably hurt her even without his armor, but
Yeah,
it was purposeful what he did. Once again, just like when he got captured in the woods,
right.
that whole battle was 100% purposeful. And even when to the point where they looked at the camera and was like, "You have to do
Yeah.
this. This is
Yeah,
something you have to do because this is being recorded, and both Ackerson and Paragonski are going to see this, and they can't lose trust in you."
yeah. I do like in that fight, there were those little moments where
I
Master
don't want
Chief was kinda like making her look at the camera. Like, "Look, the camera is looking right at us." Like, most likely, they're watching us right this moment. This is because they want you to do this act, and they're making sure that you do it, like, and it's not because of whatever purpose they told you or whatever reason they gave you.
And the funny
Um
thing is, yeah, she's following Ackerson's orders, but indirectly, she's following Master Chief's orders in that situation.
Mhm.
Like, she knows what his orders would be. She knows exactly his undertones, the way he's talking, his body language. They grew up together. Where is this girl I grew up with?
Yeah,
All those things right there.
right.
What's all this time mean to you? Apparently nothing. They're recording, they're listening. They
Yeah,
know this whole interaction, and they know each other so well that even the slightest body movement will tell them something.
yeah.
So I love that scene. But like I said, I was watching it and I was like, he's getting his John McClane moment.
Which I do appreciate. Give a hero his lumps. Will make him earn a W at the end. Yeah, it's a heck of an episode. I don't, you know, it's funny because I'm not too sure which is a great thing. If you're not quite sure, you have some idea of where the show's going, but really they could go anywhere. What do you think we're going to see next episode? Did you already watch a trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't help it. Definitely, if I ended the episode with the just damn, I
Yeah.
had to watch Declassified. Had to see the interviews. Had to see the trailer for the next episode. I'll leave all that at bay. Uh, but I feel like we're gonna see more movement. I think with Perez.
Oh yeah.
I
Are we
think
staying on Onyx?
uh I I yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just say yes. I'll say yes to that.
I feel like there's just too much unfinished business here.
At least we're starting on Onyx. I think
Okay.
we're gonna finish the season on Onyx, frankly.
Yeah, and
Now
we don't have much left, right? Because
no,
this
this
was
was 6.
6, and
We
there's
have
8
2 more?
episodes, so we only have two more episodes.
Yeah. But,
Um,
I
I
don't
can't wait to see more Perez and see what else she's got going on. I don't are we gonna get a reunion with Master Chief? Like, what's the end game for her? Like,
I
where's she
don't
going?
know. She was quickly becoming one of my favorite characters on the show,
Yeah.
and this Spartan turn, I just I don't like it because it's
So
like
do you not like that she's in the program, or do you not like how she's handling herself, or like, because
I
I
don't
thought
like
this
how
was
she's
interesting.
I don't like how she's in the program
Yeah,
because I feel like and it's I think it's a classic going through grief
right.
situation where she just lost her whole family, she lost her planet, she doesn't know where she belongs.
Doesn't know what else to do.
She's a
Yeah,
Marine. They opened up this new Spartan 3 program. Why not? And even within it while she's training, the bits they give us, she's
yeah,
unsure of herself on what to do until she finally decides, I'm taking the lead. This is what we're doing. I don't care
yeah.
who's in command. If we follow this, it's we if we do the same thing, continue to fail, a definition of
Insanity.
insanity.
Yeah, right.
So she's like, okay, we're going to change this up. Follow me, and they complete the mission. But she knows the simulation is BS because once they go ahead and spike the board, there's no soldiers to confront them while they're getting off.
It's It's funny because there's I feel like there's some extra layer here as far as her intentions, because I feel like, for a lot of these, Marines, it's probably like they're inspired by the propaganda posters, or they had family, or maybe they were on Reach themselves, and they were like, "Yeah, I wanna join and be a Spartan so I can carry that torch and, make Master Chief proud, God rest his soul," and, like, all this stuff. They're buying into it whole cloth,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I don't think Perez has bought into that hype whole cloth. I think her reasons are almost more personal. Like she's doing this to either maybe get closer spiritually to John. Maybe she because he like physically saved her in particular, like throughout Reach.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe because of her loss of her family and she really wants to like punish the only like she either wants to die or take some covenant out on the way to being dead because she's still so mad and grieving over her family. Like she because Kai asked her like, "Do you want to die?" and she's like, "No." But I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if Perez really knows what she's doing
Yeah.
or what she wants right now.
I'm gonna be interested. 'Cause there's got to be an interaction between her and Master Chief. That's
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
happen. I want to see a scene where somehow Cortana hijacks the actual TVs and loud system in the whole building,
yeah.
and she shows Master Chief in his armor, alive, holding his helmet. Now,
Right,
all these Spartans, all these Spartan threes that believe that they're being built to fight in his honor, who has died for them,
right.
now find out he's alive.
Yeah.
How would that change the dynamic of the show?
Yeah, and I feel like Parangosky and Ackerson are playing with fire here with Cortana because it's just like, what's to stop Cortana from because Cortana's got all the evidence. She's got all the goods as far as what happened here or what happened on Reach. Like she knows exactly that. Well, she was in that room with Ackerson. She
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, we're not going to survive this. You're not going to survive this." Like she knows that they knew ahead of time. She has all the goods on them. What's to stop her from just like going out and telling the world?
Yeah, we have who's here says she just wants retribution. And that can very well be,
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, yeah.
what's going on. I think it's retribution, but it's also confusion and she's lost.
Yeah.
I think there's that to it as well. And everything that she's familiar with is the UN USMNC, or yeah, I'm probably saying that
And
wrong.
but I think I think the extra layer is that she doesn't buy into the bullshit that all the other recruits seem to. Like, she knows there's something wrong with the simulation. She knows that once she spikes it and then there's no more attack, there's something wrong with that.
I
Like,
I wonder if she's the only person on Onyx that has actually been in a military fight outside of Kai.
oh, I don't know, that would be interesting, yeah.
Because if she's the only one there, she's the only one that knows any type, because she was on, I'm not uh Serenity, or
Yeah, the one planet we saw at the
yeah,
beginning of this season, yeah.
but yeah,
You
Sanctuary.
Yeah, Sanctuary. You may be right about that because it's like and even though Kai just tell her, "Hey, just take the win," or whatever. But later, Kai has her own doubts. Like when she confronts Ackerson,
Mhm.
she's like, "What the hell was that about? Like, why did the Covenant just go away? Were you in there tampering with the program?" Like she was pissed because she knows like that it shouldn't have ended there.
It's never that easy to get off a Covenant ship. It's easier to get on the ship rather than off the ship.
Unless you're disposable, unless like the training is just for you to get the job done, and who the hell cares what happens
That's
afterwards?
exactly what I
Because
got though. 'Cause they said, I
yeah,
mean, for the most
you
part,
accomplish the mission. Who cares if you return home? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because basically it was just a morale thing. He went in there, messed with it to boost their morale. So when they
Yeah,
come out of the simulation, they're pumped that they completed it. And so they can send them to their death with them with the impression that they can actually achieve their goal.
right.
And that's
Yeah.
diabolical.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's a fine line there that Kai was unwilling to cross and Perez was too, and it made her real uneasy, I think. But I did like that whole dynamic, just kind of questioning authority and rightfully so because Parangosky and Ackerson are just like who at the end of the day, because there are even Parangosky and Ackerson still are not like uh,
They answer to somebody.
well, they answer to somebody, and they're not totally in line with each other all the time. They're kind of like biting at each other, even as far as like what's morally right here, what's going on. And is there any sort of redemption arc for Ackerson? I think that's what we're
No,
meant to think. No, you don't think
I,
so?
I don't think so. I think he is supposed to pick up on what Halsey was doing, like he is with the Spartan threes, but I don't think he's a redeemable character. And
Okay.
nor do I believe Parangosky is. I think the line has been drawn, and I don't think either of them are long for the world.
Who leads them then? Say if there's no Ackerson, there's no Parangosky, who's the leader of the UNSC or basically the armed forces of the galaxy?
What?
Who's gonna
Yeah,
lead this fight?
wasn't there some type of council meeting they had in season one that there was like Parangosky was a part of,
Yeah,
Keys was a
I think
part
there
of.
was. Yeah, you're right. There probably is some other figurehead that we just don't know as intimately as our cast of characters here. But do we get in a position where Master Chief himself is just like taking the lead, taking the fight? I don't know how. I guess he's not. He's a soldier, not
No,
like a
I think
general.
he's gonna find a way to regain his armor in some manner.
Yeah,
If it's Kai, helping him with it, if it's Cortana helping him find it, whatever's
right.
gonna happen, and he's going rogue. I think he's gonna take some. They're gonna take some lumps from him,
Yeah,
and he's gonna take off, and he's gonna take off with the Keystone. So not
right.
only did they find out that Master Chief would be alive, but now they're also going to find out that he has a keystone. And I think Kai will be with him. I think
Mm,
him and Kai will leave together. Maybe even with Perez
yeah.
when her finding out that he's alive. So that's
I can't wait to see where things go next week. I mean, with pretty much every character, Soren notwithstanding and his family, I'm hoping, hope Kessler's
I
okay,
like
but
Sorn. I want him to be a bigger part of the Master Chief storyline.
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
He is
I
very he feels very much a side character
That's
when
a
he
B or maybe even a C storyline.
yeah, yes, yeah. Because I'm more interested in what's going on with Halsey, Quan, where they're heading to, Miranda, more from her. Definitely more interested in Master Chief and Cortana and even Makee and how they're gonna like meet up. So yeah, I think there's just more interesting stuff going on. And with only 2 episodes left, I can't wait to see how this unfolds. We're gonna be back here next Friday to talk about episode 7 of season 2 of Halo. Be sure to check out our shorts in the meantime. Chris is real good about putting up some clips from this after show and every week's after show and clipping out some of the best parts. The last clip was All Me Baby, and I think it was just great. It was really great. But yeah, shorts, and we have other shorts and stuff that goes on too, but we also do trailer reactions. And he and I are really gonna have to talk about what we're covering after Halo, because the plan was to cover Fallout on Amazon Prime, but that's gonna drop apparently all 8 episodes in one batch, and that's hard for us to do. We can't do the binge watching thing.
Yeah, no, with families and everything, and just binge watching is not our forte.
No, we tried that with The Witcher during Christmas time last year, and it was rough.
Well, yeah, we released one episode a week, one episode a day for a week. This was it 7 days of Christmas or 8 yeah,
Yeah, 7 days
some
of Witcher, yeah.
yeah, something crazy. And it was a hard burn.
Yeah, so but we will be back covering more stuff, after Halo is all done. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. We're at, I think 483 or
85.
484. Oh, 85.
And
Oh,
we're at 85
see,
now, yeah.
we are getting ever so close, only 15 more to 500. And I think once you hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, I think YouTube gives you $1 million. So, make that happen for us. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, that would be amazing, guys. So, I mean, it's been a long journey. We're creeping there slowly but surely, but with your help, we'll eventually hit it.
Yep.
So I think we've talked through this Halo episode a little bit here. And if you are watching recorded, drop the comment below. We are really good at going ahead and responding to it and letting you know what we think and thanking you for taking the time to watch and in comments. That's always important to us. Your interaction is always very welcomed.
Yeah. So until next time, we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.